over the rules in the dressing room. I want to remind you, protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands. God bless you both. Touch up.
Russell Mora, the third man in the ring. You see that kiss from Gabe Flores Sr. to his son Gabe, and you will be hearing a lot of instructions coming from that red corner for Gabe Flores, who said, I hurt my back in the second round. I had a back injury in training camp, but everything was fine until he hit me right in that sore spot. And I do recall just how it changed his demeanor. His dad was really upset because he wasn't listening to instructions until at the end of the fight. He said, I didn't want to say anything because the mics are all open, everything's being heard, so I had to keep it to myself.
Well, that's what you're supposed to do. I mean, we all fighters, we come in with injuries. You know, we don't talk about it. You know, if we get injured in training camp, we don't talk about it. And if it shows up in the fight, sometimes we don't even talk about it. You know, but it shows you that Flores Jr., you know, not looking to make any excuses.
That's the biggest takeaway from that fight was he didn't make any excuses during the fight, and he didn't say anything until after the fight. Said, look, it was a bad situation for the kid, but he went through therapy with a chiropractor for 3 weeks. He said, now I'm feeling good, and my first time in the bubble, I didn't get a chance to shine. This time you will see my skills because I want a world title opportunity in 2021.
Right hand right there over the top. Pull him straight back again from Flores. Got hit right on the chin with the right hand.
And you see a quick return fire there from Gabe Flores Jr. Says, you give me yours, I'm going to give you mine.
Flores Jr., you know, you see guys that carry their hands low. A lot of guys are comfortable because they're able to see punches. I was one of those guys that carried my hands low as well. You know, you can see a lot of things more clearer when you have your hands down.
Nice body shot from Flores, but then there was a nice overhand right coming back from Kielczweski. He said, I'm going to test this kid. He's never been in against a guy who boxes like me. Nice left hook. And Gabe Flores gets shook there here in round number 1. Let's see how he reacts. Big right hand, and Kielczweski is not a big puncher. He's only got 11 knockouts in 30 professional wins.
Not a big puncher, but if you catch him at the right time, it's all about timing. That's what it's about. If you time him perfectly, just as Kielczweski did, again, with the left hook, Flores Jr. was caught.
Stop.
Dropping those hands, man. Yeah, you can see things coming, but the man from Stockton, California, is not seeing those left hooks coming his way right now.
He's only feeling them, and so far, too, from Kielczweski, that we always talk about those flaws you can get away with against lower-level competition. Kielczweski, he's faced great opposition, and therefore, he's not intimidated by Flores. He said, I know the kid is quick, but he said, I also believe that a 20-year-old version of myself, I would kick his butt right now because of the experience that I have. And that's what he's trying to do here to Gabe Flores, make him doubt himself. I mean, Gabe Flores Jr. was able to keep himself upright, but Tim, it was very tough for him.
Yeah, throwing the left hook, you know, loading up. That's what Flores does. He leads with the left hook at times, and right here, it looks like he was actually looking for a 45 right there. Threw it from a little bit too far away and was caught with the left hook, a big left hook from Kielczweski. Here it is again. You saw Flores Jr. right there. He got his head off the line. He did right, but he threw the punch from too far away. And Kielczweski made him pay for making that amateur mistake.
All right? But look, walking down, put your hands up. You know what I'm saying? And you work behind your jab and your feint, and you're good. All right? Let's go, boys. Come on.
Gabe Flores Sr., his father, said what he's always told him, put your hands up. And we've talked about the fact that he's gotten away with it for 18 fights, but Kielczweski did not let him get away with it early in round number 1. Let's see what Flores learns from that, how he reacts. And he'd been working with Andre Ward at the beginning of camp up in Stockton, California.
Right.
So he's got to put some of that to use tonight.
Well, what I like, what I see right off the jump, besides those left hooks he took, is he slowed his feet down. Now he's available to sit a little bit more on his shots and gain more respect. Stop guys from just walking straight in. like we saw in his last fight against Ruiz. Ruiz was able to just walk straight in.
Mark, what does Gabe Flores Sr. see after what we saw, his son getting hurt in round number 1?
Father Flores claims to be unperturbed. He says, I just told him to relax. This is nothing Gabe hasn't seen before.
Well, when it comes to Ryan Kielczweski, he's a full-time salesman for Polar Beverages. He says, look, it was miserable, this training camp. My alarm goes off at 4:45 in the morning. I go to work, and as soon as I get out, I hit the gym. I work out. I'm 4 to 7. I'm in there training, and then I get my clients, because he owns that gym, until 8 p.m. And then it's back to, get something to eat and get some rest. So he said it's miserable, and somebody's got to pay for all that hard work.
Yeah.
Kielczweski bleeding from the nose here in round number 2.
You see the speed advantage for Flores Jr. When he uses his speed and chooses spots wisely and don't make those mistakes, those amateur mistakes, and pulling straight back or dropping his hands right directly in front, he does very well. See, the closer your opponent get to you, you better bring those hands up. Okay, you're outside, you got your hands low, that's great. You want to feint, you want to try to, get him to throw a shot. But when he closes the distance on you, get those hands up so you're ready for incoming offense.
Measuring with that jab. Throws it to the body, does Gabriel Flores Jr. That shell defense from Kielczweski. You know somebody's a fighter when they got the 2 gloves tattooed on their back. That's real.
Yeah, he's a fighter. You're definitely right, but he has a full-time job. And one of the things that I read is that he wouldn't encourage anyone to fight because he understands. He's a realist. He understands how hard this business is.
Yeah, he said, look, man, I got ranked in the top 10, and then they promise you the world and don't give you anything, so it's not for everybody. And that is a reality of the business. This is not for everybody.
No, it isn't.
Let's listen in on Gabe Flores Sr. and his instructions.
I got you, baby. Breathe. Deep breath. 3 deep breaths. Pop, those sticks is good. When you're moving, feint on the move. Feint on the move, and keep that jab busy. Okay. Just keep that left hand busy, bro. That's gonna set up your right hand, all right? Everything good. That was nice. Everything was good. That was nice. That was nice. Yeah. Keep the defense tight though, and keep working that stick. Stay busy, all right? And when he steps in, simple stick, and then follow up, all right? What are you gonna do?
When he's bouncing in front of you with his hands down, something put you down. And that red is working. It's beautiful.
Yeah. Hey, but just keep it, like when he steps, you shoot. He steps, you shoot. Don't let him cross that line. Okay. All right. Take consistency in the body. Good work, boys.
Solid corner for Gabe Flores Jr. His father, Gabe Flores Sr. Kay Karoma, who we saw earlier in the evening, working the corner of Duke Reagan. And Jorge Capetillo working cuts. And you'll recall that cut that he worked for Tyson Fury at the MGM Grand. And everybody in there with their input for Gabe Flores Jr. You see, once again, now the stick is working for Gabe Flores Jr. That'll set up a lot of things in terms of his offense, but Kielczweski says, I got a jab too.
Check this out, Kielczweski, there's 2 punches that can work for him tonight. The right hand and the left hook. Those are 2 punches that he can land tonight. If I'm in this corner and I'm telling him, throw the right hand, throw the left hook, get busy on your jab, just throw it out there. The kid's gonna run into it.
See a nice overhand right from Gabe Flores Jr. Continues to create those openings.
Yeah, he's creating those openings because he's there. Kielczweski's trying to walk in. Kielczweski is trying to walk in. He's giving him some offense, and then he'll take a subtle step to the left or to the right. And just controlling the bull.
Kielczweski walked in and got stuck by a jab as he just was coming forward. And the one thing he's preparing and protecting from is those body shots that Gabe Flores Jr. was working with alongside Andre Ward out there in Stockton, California in the first 2 weeks of his camp. He said that was the one thing that I really did take away from those conversations with Andre when he was in that camp with me. Work the body, but it's been the headshots that are working for him here in round number 3.
Yeah, the headshots are there. You bring the hands up, but then it opens up the body. You don't see Flores taking advantage of that. You know, Kielczweski's putting those earmuffs on. Olympic style defense, putting his hands up in front, leaving those outside, the flanks open. Take advantage of that.
We always talk about fighters having to pick their poison in terms of you're going to protect the head, that's going to leave the body open. There's very rare guys that can both protect the body and the with the elbow and the chin with the glove, but
yeah.
Kielczweski's not one of those guys.
See some nice little head movement right there from Kielczweski. But he's not working anything off the head movement. You know, trying to make himself hard to hit, but there's no offense coming off of him. No, I like the poise. I like the poise from Flores Jr. I like the fact that his father didn't panic when he saw his son get hurt from a big shot. You know, he remained calm and patient. He didn't, you know, get the young fighter stirred up. That's great. That's showing maturity in the sport.
Round 3 coming to an end, and let's take you to Mark Kriegel, the newspaper man, with news and notes.
More fallout from Wilder Fury back in February. Mark Breland said he had no regrets about throwing in the towel that night. Now we'll see if Wilder comes to regret firing him as he did this week. Shelley Finkel, who's guided the careers of both Wilder and Breland, told me the core team will remain the same. Longtime trainer JD's and former heavyweight contender Malik Scott. He cautioned against a rush to judgment, citing all the heat Fury took in firing Ben Davison. As for the rematch, given the ever-changing football schedule, multiple sources say it won't happen until 2021, hopefully with some socially distant seating. We're already seeing some of that. The Athletics' Mike Coppinger reported that Gervonta Davis and Leo Santa Cruz fight at the Alamo Dome, where state officials have allowed crowds up to 25% capacity. Here in Vegas, Top Rank will have a controlled audience, about 250 for Loma Lopez. Fellas?
Thank you, Mark. And you know, we're going to get those fans inside, but what caught my attention was Mark Breland, who to me is the man who did his job the best that night in February.
Yeah, it's unfortunately, you know, some fighters, they like your sir mans around them, you know, and do whatever. You know, they like people that do whatever they tell them to do, and Breland's not that guy. He's a real one. He's going to tell them the real and what he needs to do, and I don't think he likes that.
Sometimes that's what you need, and I do believe that Mark,
what you need.
I believe that Mark Breland had the empathy of a fighter who has been in there, who has been hurt, and he knew what he was seeing, and he just looked to protect his fighter. And thanks to that, we're going to have a third fight hopefully in 2021. Here we see the nice body work from Flores, going downstairs and then following up with that same left hook to the head.
See all those punches right there. That freezes Kielczweski, excuse me. That freezes him. He doesn't throw any punches. You know, when you're working your offense, he just sits there and he blocks. You know, some of those shots are getting in. But if he was to work his offense after that defense, now he can give the young man some problems.
Mark, what's going on?
Well, I spoke to Steve Mays in Kielczweski's corner, and what he wanted his guy to do, you can't throw out a single jab. You can't not be busy. Says Flores backs up more than we thought. He's really fast, but you got to work off that jab. You got to go forward.
No, watch your shoulder.
Speed is so hard to account for, and it looks like Kielczweski is having trouble with that, although he lands a nice overhand right as Flores ducks down. Had his hands up, but he kept his head down, and he got caught.
Yeah, Flores Jr. just did something about five seconds ago. He bumped him with the shoulder to create space. That's a veteran move. You can tell right away he's been working on Andre Ward.
If he starts working with Tim Bradley, he's going to come in with his head.
Hey,
so
man,
that's
come on now.
Know. Hey, looking forward to having Tim Bradley. I mean, Tim Bradley is already here. Looking forward to have Andre Ward and Joe Tessitore join us in the bubble next week for Navarrete's fight against Ruben Villa, as well as the mega fight that everyone's been looking forward to all year long, Lomachenko Lopez. So we'll have the full complement of announcers starting next week, and October 17th is going to be a stellar night, a pay-per-view worthy fight that you'll see for free on ESPN.
Beautiful combinations right there from Flores Jr. Going upstairs and downstairs. That's what he got to continue to do. See the reflexes right there from Flores Jr. right there. Great reflexes, but those hands are down. Got to be careful because guys can step in behind him when he's trying to exit and make him pay.
Quick combination from the Stockton kid, Gabe Flores Jr. And this is our co-main event this evening, but later on it'll be Jose Cepeda. They call him Chon, and he gave Jose Ramirez all he could handle, and he looked spectacular against a man who looked really good inside the bubble in Sniper Pedraza, and then against Kendo Castaneda, and then Ivan Baranchik, who wants another world title opportunity. He's working with Pedro Diaz, a famed Cuban trainer. He says, look, the mix of my Russian school, the Cuban school, and the aggressiveness of the Mexican school that we respect so much, you're going to see someone come out here and really give honor to that moniker, the Beast, because this guy is a tank coming forward.
He is a tank. You know, he's built like a tank. You see him in the weigh-ins?
Yep.
Not a drop of fat on that body.
Round 5. Round 5.
Almost halfway through the scheduled 10-rounder. Ryan the Polish Prince Kielczweski taking on Gabe Flores Jr. here at the MGM Grand Bubble. A stellar month of October that we have set up for you. Starts tonight with a highly anticipated fight between Baranchik and Zepeda. Then we'll have Navarrete Villa. We'll have Loma taking on Teofimo Lopez on October 17th. And we close out the month with the monster Naoya Inoue taking on Maloney from Australia. International flair, baby.
Now this is my favorite camera right here. This is called dog, baby, dog camera. I get to see everything here. The footwork, what each guy is doing, their defense as well. You know, it's like being at a football game and looking down at the game and calling, you know, some plays. But anyhow, you see Flores Jr., he's controlling the range. He's outside. Anytime you see Kielczweski walk forward, what does he do? You see Flores Jr. take a couple step back. That's how he's able to maintain distance. Now you see the movement right there from him, changing the angles. See, Kielczweski is walking forward, lunging forward. Now it's an opportunity for Flores Jr. He got a guy following him. Now it's time for him to make him pay. Make him pay.
You know what we call this camera when we're doing football? It's the all 22 because you can see all 22 players on the field. So here it's the all 2.
Well, this is called the dog.
The dog?
That's what it's called.
Okay.
The dog. Yeah. Not
all right.
All 22. The dog. They got a camera here called the cat too.
I don't even want to know.
I'm just saying.
Once Tim gets all into the technical aspects of TV, it's scary. we reached another dimension. I don't think I'm ready for that.
All right. One thing you would need to pay attention to is when Flores Jr., anytime he throws that lead left hook, he drops his right hand. Just pay attention to that. That was a cold opportunity for Kielczweski to throw his left hook at the same time. I will wait on Flores Jr. to throw his left hook, so that way I can time it with mine.
He wobbled him with it in the first round. Flores was able to recover well, picked up on that, and has attempted to get back in the fight. Every time he gets stuck with that jab, though, Flores Jr. puts out that big smile. You see that big mouthpiece, but
that just means you got me.
Yeah, exactly.
That just means
what he needs to do is not be caught with it.
You know, Flores Jr., he's doing a lot of good things in there right now. You know, he's using his jab. You know, I like the fact that, like I said, he didn't panic. He stuck to the script. Now he's moving, using his reach outside, using his speed and his quickness to win this fight. Easy. And then I love occasionally he would stand his ground. He'll bang down to the body. So he's showing different wrinkles in there. So you know he's been working very hard in the gym. Oh, nice body shot.
It's what you were saying. He sat down on his punches, stopped his feet, settled, and pop.
Beautiful work right there from Flores.
We're halfway through this fight, and more than halfway through the career of Gabe Flores, who's got great aspirations, Mark.
Not often you can say a 20-year-old is a veteran, but Gabe Flores signed his first pro contract at 16. Says his time is approaching fast, not a lightweight, but a junior lightweight.
Honestly, around this time next year, I feel like I'll have a world title by then. I feel like it's coming real close. They're stepping on my competition, and when I go in there, I just feel like this is where I belong with the bigger and better competition, because that only gets me better. I know when the lights turn on, that's when I really shine, when those big stages come. When I start fighting for the world title, it's gonna be 130s. If they say I got to fight a bigger name or something, throw me the name, man. I'll take it with a smile on my face. Me and my team are not worried about any name out there. This is boxing. This is competition. This is the professionals. There's competition everywhere, so we're not running away. We're not hiding from any type of name.
Gabe's looking to make a statement. How about starting tonight with Kielczweski? Never been knocked out in a career that began in 2008. Flores told us, I don't see him lasting the 10 rounds.
Flores has 6 knockouts and 18 professional wins. That means that he's got double the amount of unanimous decision wins. He rarely gives away rounds, though. That's the one thing that he tends to be quite dominant with his speed, with his movement, and winning rounds, being very efficient when he's in the ring. And he drops a lot of guys. He just doesn't finish them for some reason. But nonetheless, the division is exciting, and there's a lot of talent at 130 and 135 moving up. So a lot of challenges for Gabe Flores, and a lot of opportunities for belts.
Yeah, I think he's more suited at 130 than 135. There's a lot of beasts, a lot of killers at 135, man. A lot of big guys with punching power and great defense and pressure.
And a lot of big guns from 130 moving up to 135, which opens up possibilities.
Yeah, but I like 130. I like his speed. I like his movement. You know, he's very smart in the ring. Good ring IQ. Makes little mistakes, you know, and I know he got Ward in his corner now, so Ward tweak some things and continue to, you know, move him in the right direction. And that's up.
Short check left hook from Gabriel Flores. Kielczweski lands and tries to bottle up Gabe Flores. You talked about his need to be better on the inside.
Yes. Oh, nice.
Get him up. That's low. Get him up. Get him up.
Yes, you know, of course you don't want to stand. That was a nice right hand right there from Kielczweski. Of course you don't want him just sitting there taking shots, you know, but I want to see if he can handle himself inside the pocket. You know, take whatever Kielczweski got going on, take it, and then give him some.
Like there, nice uppercut from Gabe Flores. Quick combination, and he lands flush on Kielczweski, who keeps coming forward. But a nice flurry from Gabe Flores.
Punches in front.
Now this is how you get stoppages right here. You start putting pieces together, punches together, over and over and over.
Great ring generalship from a young fighter at just 20 years old with 18 professional fights, 19th now.
See, that's what I'm talking about right there. See, that's what I'm talking about right there. Took those shots like a real pro. Okay, you want to go down to my body? That's fine. Go down to my body. I'll block those shots and I'll come back with my own. That's good work right there from Flores Jr.
What do you make of Flores continually kind of slapping himself with his right hand?
It's just a habit, man. Habits are created inside the gym. You know, if you don't break those habits inside the gym, you're never gonna, you know, not do it in the fight.
Straight to me.
Kielczweski going with a nice body shot right there. Left hook to the body. Look, they actually traded left hooks.
Punches in front,
you know,
and nothing low. Okay.
This is what I like. You know, at mid-range, you see Flores Jr. landing nice short shots right there. That's what you want to see from a young fighter, especially at this stage of his career. Look at that. Outside, up the middle. You want to put those earmuffs on? Okay. Flores Jr. came outside with the body shot, up the middle, then back outside and finished up with a flurry of combinations. It's just great offense from Flores. and nothing coming back from Kielczweski.
Keep that. Don't get lazy. Hey, stay focused. Let's go. Let's go. Stay focused, boy. Let's go.
Kielczweski's just not punching enough. You know, Flores is not giving him an opportunity to settle his feet down to punch.
You mentioned the fact that he's not punching. Kielczweski, through the first 6 rounds, has thrown 185 punches. We've got 307 punches thrown by Gabe Flores Jr., who's been a lot more active. He's more than doubled the amount of punches that he's landed with at 86 compared to 39 for Kielczweski. He landed that first big left hook in round 1, and then it's been Gabe Flores taking control since then.
Speed. Youth, ring IQ. Kielczweski has been in the ring with, yes, some good fighters, some quality opponents, but he hasn't fought one like this one in some time. He's been out of the ring, very inactive. And he doesn't have the fighter mentality. You know what? Reading the notes, I wasn't here for the fighter meeting, but reading your notes, Bernardo, and I appreciate that, the fact that you do that, brother. I really do, man. I can't do that. That's nice. You know?
Nothing in the back.
It just sounds like to me like this is just a hobby for him. You know, he's kind of giving up on his career. You know, he's a fighter. You know, it's in his heart. I respect that. He knows what he's here to do. He's here to try to win, but if he doesn't win, he's going to go back to his full-time job.
You know, what's interesting is that Mark Kriegel asked in that fighter meeting, what's your biggest regret? And he thought it would be something boxing related, and then he said, not joining a union at 18 where I could get benefits for the long term, because
That's
Tim,
right.
I mean, not everybody has that ability to make millions over the long run, and boxing takes a lot of your life, a lot of your years away from you. And it's interesting that he said that, because he's like, in Boston, I could have been a longshoreman, I could have gotten to one of the unions, I'd have benefits, and he doesn't have that. He's like, the best thing that boxing gave me was that I own a gym and that I could train people, and I can help pay the bills, but I still have to have a job. So it was a very interesting take, and I'm glad you got that out of the notes, because
Nice body shot.
boxing is a rough sport.
Yes, it is. You know, and sometimes it's hard for fighters to, you know, to come to the realization that, you know what, I have the goods or I don't have the goods. You know, Kielczweski, he's okay with that. He's okay with reality. He understands what he's here to do. He's here to put up a good fight for the young fighter. If he can win the fight, then great. If he doesn't, then hey, he's going to go back to his life. But having that, you know, that union benefits and good insurance and stuff, hey, that's a good thing, because boxing don't give you that.
Right.
All right? Boxing do not give you that. Boxing will give you an opportunity to make the money so you can establish yourself if that's what you need. But they don't give you that like the union does. I can tell you that.
Yeah, boxing a lot of times takes a lot more away from you than it gives it, unless you make it to the big time. Like my boy, Tim Bradley, Andre Ward, you know, the rarities in this sport. Well, tonight, Jose Zepeda wants to make it in this sport and become a world champion. He'll have to beat a former world champion in Ivan Baranchyk in a division at 140 that is laden with great talent. But there's just two kings that reign supreme over the division. Their names are Jose Ramirez, and the other is Josh Taylor. Ramirez is the WBC and WBO champion. Josh Taylor, well, he's earned the WBA and IBF titles. Both fighters have knocked off some of the best opponents in the division. Ramirez has defeated ESPN's 6th-ranked Jose Zepeda, who fights tonight, 4th-ranked Maurice Hooker, and 5th-ranked Victor Postal. While Taylor, he also knocked off number 5th-ranked Victor Postal, then 7th-ranked Ivan Baranchyk, and finally Regis Prograis in the final of the World Boxing Super Series tournament. So, Tim, this is a loaded division, and these guys fight amongst each other. 5 of the guys in the top 10 have been world champions in this weight class. I mean, it's a great division. This division is wide open.
You know, but this is the way boxing's supposed to be. You have the top guys fighting the top guys. You know, the way they're doing it now is a little different. But at the 140-pound division, I like what I'm seeing. I'm liking that these guys are willing to step out, fight the best to be the best.
I mean, Postal's the guy with the most losses at 3 in the top 10.
Loaded.
They've been against Terrence Crawford, who was the last undisputed champion at 140 pounds, Jose Ramirez and Josh Taylor, who are now both unified champions, and one of them will eventually be the undisputed champion in the near future. So you talk about a rough road. I mean, how much harder than that can it get?
You know, like the fighters tonight, they just got to get themselves in a position to become the #1 mandatory. That's what's important about this fight tonight. Become the #1 mandatory, so whoever has the belt, they got to face you. That's just it. No ands or buts about it.
And the other thing, Tim, is the winner of that fight will probably move up to 147 to challenge Terrence Crawford within 1 or 2 fights. So that means that there's going to be 4 belts up for grabs.
Yes, yes. And I think that the fighters that we see tonight, I believe, will be a belt holder once that happens.
This is a young man in Gabe Flores Jr. who dreams of becoming a world champion in the very near future. And another very deep 130-pound weight class, but you could see this kid going 2-3 weight classes up because of his build. 5'9", still growing into his
going straight back
man body.
Still growing into, you know, he's moving straight back in a straight line. You know, you want to take 1 step back, fire, or get off the line. You know, step around your opponent.
That's the one concern, right? I mean, he got clipped in the first round, hasn't got clipped since, but you see what is out there if you're not careful, and
yes,
he's not making that adjustment. He's just very comfortable in his defensive stance, but once you get into elite levels, those are the mistakes you cannot afford to make, and those are habits that are extremely difficult to break.
Habits that are difficult to break, but at the same time, you know, every guy is not going to respect his punching power. You know, I mean, he's landing some hard shots in there. Kielczweski's coming forward. Boo, beautiful shot right there. Kielczweski right now stepping on the gas right now, making Flores uncomfortable. Good jab right there from Flores.
Now it's Kielczweski with his hands down.
Well, what I'm saying is that they're gonna take your best to give their best. Guys in this division, they're gonna be strong all the way through. They're gonna take those light punches to land one hard one.
Let's listen in to Steve Mays, who's Ryan Kielczweski's trainer, and see what he's got for the last 2 rounds.
That's the kind of round you need. Kick your feet up. That's a really good round. Yep. That's the kind of round you need. Okay. Keep pushing him back. Keep pushing him back. Keep pushing him back. You hit him with any combination you want. He doesn't expect it. Yep. Everything's behind the jab and keep pushing him back. Excellent round. Don't watch this fight tomorrow and wish you did more. Yep. Do it now. Do it now. You can beat this kid. You hit this kid with a couple clean shots, he's not going to know what to do. Take a deep breath.
Attack from the road. 7-7. Don't throw the straights. Throw the right hooks to the body. Come for the 1 upstairs, okay? And then finish with a 2. 7-7. Then go 6-1-2.
Everything is behind a jab. Keep pushing them back, and everything is behind a jab. Understand? Come on. 9. Come on, baby. 9. Do everything you want to do right now.
I really liked Tim, the fact that he said, don't watch this fight tomorrow and let Tim be talking smack. And wish you had done something. Well, he didn't say that part, but he said, don't watch it tomorrow and wish you had done something.
Yep. I mean, that's just a trainer, a smart trainer trying to motivate his fighter. But he should have started that motivation, I think, a little bit earlier during the course of this fight, because I think he's way behind. I don't think he won a round.
First round, when he wobbled him.
Yeah.
But that was it.
I'll give him that one. You know what? I even forgot about that already, because, you know, Flores has been so poised.
It's been a dominant performance. And that's what we've talked about with Gabe Flores Jr. is he rarely gives away rounds. And, you know, even the fact that he got wobbled, he did good work in that first round. But I just think the fact that the best punch was landed by Kielczweski, that's going to be a round that he's going to lose in this fight. But nonetheless, it's just been very smart behind the jab, but the bad habits are still there, and that's concerning for the elite level that he wants to be at. No ill effects of the back issue that he had in his last fight out, which is always, you know, important for a fighter. At age 20, he's already had to deal with a broken hand. He's already had to deal with a back injury coming into a fight. So he's shown that mettle to push forward despite whatever circumstances he faces in the ring, as he lands a nice left on Kielczweski.
Well, I would expect that. I mean, he's had some rough experiences early in his life, so I would expect him to be able to withstand a left hook and get wobbled and come back like he's doing.
Yeah, we've always spoken about his mother being murdered when he was a young boy, and how that marked his life, and it's been his story to move forward and to overcome that alongside his father, and boxing has been their refuge. Boxing has been their light to get them to where they are today, and to fulfill that lifelong dream of becoming world champions and representing Stockton. Nice overhand right, but at this point it's just sharp shooting, one shot at a time for Flores.
Yep. See, why'd he get out right there? He had a man on the ropes. That's when you load up on your shots. Shorten them up, throw your power shots, your uppercuts, your left hooks, your right hooks. Go down to the body. But he just walked out. He's okay and comfortable with just fighting on the outside and just making it clean. Clean work.
There's a nice check left hook from Gabe Flores. Kielczweski a lot more open because he's got to start taking those risks at this stage of the fight.
Well, he just can't walk straight forward. He's not shooting the jab. He's not throwing any punches down to the body. I mean, if it's hard to hit the head, hit the body. Throw straight shots to the body.
How you feel? Okay, that was a good round, son. But you gotta stay. You're taking control when you want to take control. Hey, let's go. You're doing it. I told you what to do and it worked, bro. All right, now let's go.
Thank you for keeping it clean. Last round.
Hey, a great fight. You're doing great, son. But I just want you to finish. Do what I tell you to do. All right? All right? Right behind the jab. If he gets crazy, just tie him up. Control him. He gets out of range, pop him with the stick. Just control everything he does. You got control. Breathe.
Take another one. There you go. Take a deep.
Hey, 3 minutes, boy. Hey, be smart, but be explosive. You heard? Yeah. Breathe. Yep. Keep it tight. Keep hands up. Keep it tight.
Don't abandon that jab in the fight.
Let's go.
Be smart, but be explosive. The words of a father and trainer who sees what we see, the potential and the ability, and maybe the frustration of not executing that final part.
I like the word control. Control him. You know, and his father's right. You know, you want Kielczweski to bounce to your beat. Whatever you want to do in there, you want him to follow your script. And controlling every aspect of the ring, not just on the outside, but also on the inside.
Nice left hook there from Flores.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
And he told him, hey, when he gets close to you, just tie him up and then push him back.
Really solid instructions from Gabe Flores Sr.
Look at that.
And the nice counter left from Kielczweski. But we've talked about the poise. We've talked about the ring generalship. Right hand on the ear that gets Flores' attention. So he says, okay, I'll give you that, but take some of this. Clean, clear, crisp shots.
Good shot right there. Walked him right into that punch.
A little bolo action. Didn't connect, but he's getting comfortable in there. He's in total control, but he needs to just get to that next gear where he dominates.
Got to dominate. Try to dominate every second of the round.
Correct. And that explosiveness that his father's asking for as well. Ooh, nice dig to the body, but then Kielczweski with an overhand right. But that body shot from Flores, that's the Andre Ward imprint now on his style.
Oh, that's a beautiful left hook to the body. The way he sets it up with the movement. Move to one side and then just rip it. As you see, Kielczweski walk right in. Nice check hook right there to clear that side and move to the left.
Stop and pop. That's what Flores is doing here in round 10.
See, a lot of movement right there. See, these are opportunities what his father was telling him to do. Hey, step in and just tie him up. Stop his action, stop his work. You don't have to move around so much, wasting a lot of energy. Tie him up.
What does that mean?
It's my dog camera, baby. That's what I like to see. See all the movement. Lateral movement, good lateral movement right here from Flores Jr. Kielczweski, what is he doing? He's just chasing. That's all he's doing. He's not cutting off the ring. He's just chasing Flores. See, nice tie up right there from Flores. That's what his father was asking for him in the corner. Just tie him up. Stop his work. You don't necessarily have to move around so much all the time. You're wasting so much energy.
That was awesome.
Can't wait for October 17th. Loma Lopez, a pay-per-view worthy fight that you will get to watch on ESPN. And Tim, after getting hurt, it was all Gabe Flores to the final bell.
You know, sometimes guys just need to be woken up. And that left hook right there is what woke up Flores Jr. Beautiful shot right there from Kielczweski. But Flores Jr., you know, showing his dominance, using the range, using his jab, using his speed and quickness, his elusiveness to get out of range. Digging down more to the body, working with Andre Ward, my colleague. Great job right there. Good combinations as well. You know, but as he moves forward and he continues his journey to the championship, Flores Jr. is going to have to watch this tape, correct some of those bad habits. I know he doesn't have one punch knockout power. I didn't have it, but I was able to box, and I was able to counter punch more effectively. I was able to fight inside the pocket. I also had good defense as well inside the pocket and away from the pocket, and I knew every aspect of the ring, and that's the reason why I was able to accomplish 5 world championships. And I believe that this young man, he could win a world championship. Even without that punching power, he can win a world championship. He's smart, got a good ring IQ, and if he continues to move forward in the right direction, he'd be great.
Landed 35% of his power punches tonight, 127 out of 476 for Gabriel Flores Jr. as Mark Chinook has the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, here inside MGM Grand, after 10 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for the official decision. Lisa Giampa scores the bout 100 to 90. Dave Moretti scores the bout 99-91. Steve Weisfeld scores the bout 98-92. All in favor for your winner by unanimous decision. Stockton's King, Gabriel Flores Jr.
So I guess the big surprise here is that Lisa Giampa gave him all 10 rounds, and that Steve Weisfeld gave Kielczweski 2 rounds in this fight. So Gabriel Flores, once again, a dominant, unanimous decision. That's his 13th decision.